ever used an app and it just works like beautifully every single step, and then others just leave you totally frustrated halfway through.
Oh, absolutely. Like hitting a dead end when you're just trying to get something done.
Exactly. Well, today we're going to unpack why that happens, or maybe why it doesn't happen when things go right. We're doing a deep dive into something called workflow testing. So basically, workflow testing checks that a software workflow, a series of steps, actually lines up with a real-world business process.
Mm-hmm.
Think of workflow as like any set of tasks, stage after stage, to get you to some final result, like applying for a loan online, maybe.
Yeah, or ordering groceries, or even just logging in somewhere.
Right. This testing makes sure every single one of those steps works exactly like it's supposed to, in sequence.
And what's really key there, I think, is how fundamental it is. It's not just like, does this button work? It's about the whole journey. Does the path the user takes actually get them where they need to be?
That's a great point.
And connecting that bigger picture, it's making sure the digital side perfectly mirrors the actual business requirement. What needs to happen in the real world?
Yeah, mirrors the real world. I like that. So our mission today is basically to explore what this workflow testing thing really is, who's actually doing it, and how it affects, your daily tech use, often without you even noticing. Okay, so let's dig into the specifics a bit. What does this actually look like when teams are doing it?
Good question.
Well, one example our sources give is pretty relatable. It's about verifying that some software actually installs properly on your machine, the user's platform.
The setup process, yeah.
Right, and then making sure it runs correctly, step by step, just like the designers planned. We've all had that frustrating moment when an install goes wrong, right?
Completely.
Workflow testing aims to prevent exactly that kind of headache, making sure it's smooth from download to actually using it.
That's a really critical example. And it brings up, how do they manage this?
Yeah.
Testing across multiple stages, because it's not just a one-off check.
No, exactly. It's woven right into how software gets built. It happens in phases.
Phases. Okay.
Yeah, so first there's the inception phase. That's like early on. Initial test planning, maybe testing prototypes, catching big problems early when they're, cheaper to fix.
Makes sense. Get the big rocks out of the way.
Then you've got elaboration. This is where they sort of baseline the test architecture, set up the structure for testing.
Laying the groundwork.
Exactly. Then construction. That's the main build phase. Lots of testing happens here, like with every new version or build of the software.
So continuous checking.
Pretty much. And finally, transition. This is near the end. You run regression tests, basically checking that recent fixes didn't break something else that used to work.
Did we break anything? Check. Very important.
Totally. And retesting any fixes they made, so each phase is kind of targeting different risks along the way.
Okay, stepping back a bit, it's clear this isn't just one person's job. It sounds like a whole team effort.
Oh, for sure.
Like a coordinated team. You have test engineers, right? They're the ones planning the tests, figuring out the goals, defining test cases.
Strategists.
Yeah, exactly. Then component engineers, they build the specific test tools. Sometimes they even automate the tests.
So they build the machinery for testing?
You could say that. Then integration testers. They focus on how different parts of the software work together, making sure the handoffs are smooth.
Okay.
And finally, system testers. They look at the whole thing end to end. Does the entire system do what it's supposed to do?
Wow, okay. So a lot of different roles, different perspectives, all focused on that user path. And what exactly are they testing? Is it just the code?
Well, it starts with the requirements, right? What the business actually needs the software to do that's usually documented.
The business requirements document, yeah.
Right. And the testing often pulls in big chunks of system tests and integration tests, like we mentioned.
Right.
But it also involves testing the artifacts of testing itself.
Artifacts? Like what?
Like the written test cases, the step-by-step procedures they follow, the specific test components they build, even testing smaller subsystems. It's all part of ensuring the workflow is validated.
Got it. So it's quite comprehensive.
It really is.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this isn't just about squashing individual bugs. It's about validating that whole user journey against the actual business need. That's the core idea.
Right.
That's why, your online order goes through without a glitch, or your banking app lets you transfer money smoothly. It's that safety net.
Right. Preventing those moments where you just want to throw your phone or laptop.
Exactly. Saves you that call to customer support, hopefully.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener? Workflow testing is essentially this invisible process ensuring that when you go through steps in software, you actually get the result you expect.
consistently.
Yeah. It involves critical checks, system tests, integration tests happening across different phases,
Hmm.
done by a whole team of specialists, all working behind the scenes to make your digital interactions, well, work.
So maybe next time you breeze through a task on an app, booking something, paying a bill, whatever it is, just take a second. Consider all that complex testing, that workflow validation that had to happen to make it feel so effortless for you.
That's a great point.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many layers of this kind of invisible work are underpinning the digital convenience we rely on every day?
CT